On this episode, it's my answer to the Cobra. So this is it. This is my 87 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. It's got a 305 with a 700 R4 automatic transmission. I love this car. It's a special car. I've wanted one of these for a really long time, and Serge has been telling me for years that the price of these cars is only going up. Like from the 80s and the 90s, those cars are a little bit easier to get compared to 70s, 60s cars. And now the price is going up because of that. And Serge has been pushing me to get one of these cars. And Serge actually found this car for me on a classified ad. And he said, dude, you should get this car. So we took a little road trip about 80 kilometers away and we drove it back. I was a little bit nervous because driving a car you don't know anything about that far is a little bit nerve-wracking. So we did it. We drove it back. Serge followed me back and we got it home. I put some tires on it simply because the tires that were on it were scary. I did a couple other things to it, but nothing major because in reality it's worn out, and we kind of like the challenge here on Cars in Motion. Serge's car is really clean, but we still like to enjoy modifying that, things like that. However, this car is a little bit of the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, it runs fine, it doesn't leak oil, anything like that, but it's not powerful. The suspension's worn out, it needs brakes, things like that, and that's what we'd like to address. But I still really enjoy driving the car, and it's just an all-around good car. Well, another thing I really like about these cars is the interior. It's fairly sparse, but you sit really low in the car and it makes it feel more agile than it is. And the other big thing is T-tops. Gotta have T-tops. It's a convertible without being a convertible. It's pretty awesome.
I'd love to have a car with T-tops.
Yeah, your car never came with T-tops.
No, I know. Well, it did, but not the year that I got.
That's true.
So.
But yeah, it's...
So what are the plans with this mullet missile?
Well, that's exactly what it is. I mean, the plan is to, my philosophy, and hopefully our philosophy here, is if you're gonna replace something, do your best to upgrade it. So I'd like to do the suspension first and upgrade everything. But overall with the car, I'd like to have it more power, handle better, stop better than factory. I'm not just gonna bring it back to 1987 goodness. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's always room for improvement. Like, in the interior is good, but it's dated. Like, the steering wheel it's cracked and it's falling apart and it's pretty skinny. Like, it needs to be replaced. The seats kind of have the same treatment. They're purple from sun damage, and everything's gonna get replaced at some point. It's just gonna be, it kind of needs to be the mechanical side first.
It's over 20 years old.
Well, yeah, and everything works as well as you could imagine. Like, somebody's put a deck in it and it's okay, but
good bones. And I just love the look of these cars.
fix I was gonna do on the Camaro. When I bought the car, the trunk latch didn't work. So I thought. It didn't work, but what I realized was it didn't actually exist. So it wasn't there. So, and on the 3rd generation Camaros, they actually, and Firebirds of course, the trunk pull down, it's got a trunk pull down mechanism, meaning that, well, I'll just show you. All right, so luckily the factory hardware was still here, so I don't have to screw around too much. Managed to get that, it's still in there. So, I'm gonna change the camera angle here and get that going in there. So the biggest kind of part here is when you're doing this, I have nothing to reference from. Put your piece on that allows you to unlock it from the outside. Latch go up. Like so. Get this oriented properly. That hangs out back behind there. These holes are not completely round, they're actually square. It is looking at it now, it is kind of a weird looking contraption. Luckily they are problematic, but it's not something GM stayed with throughout the years, which is probably a good thing, but I did want mine to work. I didn't want to have it kind of finagled back to kind of working. I get these snug and then adjust it. Like the hatch is gonna turn into a guillotine and take my head off every time I'm back here, so it's nice to have it new again. New for 87. Might take a little bit of adjustment. Sneaking up on, oh, he's throwing stuff at me now. He must be finished with, what do you call that thing? This all right, and then there's a few electrical connections here. Relay. And this guy clips into the harness that covers this. Excuse me, the panel. So what you just saw was the part that I obtained. It was the trunk pull down motor and bracket assembly. And what that does is it allows the deck lid to stay closed. I'll show you how it works. You saw me installing it, but I'll show you how it works. So, license plate comes down. Get out the janitor keys. Key goes in. Motor actually pops up. And when you put it back down, you can actually see it. Pull it down. Just like that. I'm really happy I got it fixed, or rather I fixed it, simply because before I'd go over a bump and this was banging around. So it's a small step on a long road ahead for all the fixes on this car, but it's something I'm glad. No more rattling trunk, and you're gonna be seeing more of it in the future of Cars in Motion.